You only get one shot. Are they going to click on that and look more at the listing, or are they going to move on?
Real Estate Radio Boston with loan officer Rick Shearer of Guaranteed Rate.
If you are dealing with someone that doesn't understand those micro markets, you're going to be steered completely in the wrong direction.
And legal professional Ali Alavi of Alavi Braza PC.
It's a transaction for us, but it's someone's home.
The biggest anxiety I felt, am I going to get the mortgage?
It all breaks down to communication.
Real Estate Radio Boston gives you the information you need to succeed in today's housing market.
Just agree on something?
Yeah, we actually did. Isn't that amazing?
I love that.
You're giving me this blank stare.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this. But
you left his lawyer up.
He's handsome too.
Rick Shearer, NMLS ID 454910. This is Real Estate Radio Boston.
What is a typical return on investment that a typical investor would like to see on a multifamily?
Well, it depends on where it is. If it's in Dorchester, they're looking for around 10%. Lynn, outside, the general downtown city of Boston, they're looking to make 9, 10, 11 to 15% on their money.
But isn't that that's not even touchable anymore in the city, is it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Some people have to create that value. So you see, for instance, there's a market that nobody knows about. And I love that market. I work in that market. It's called the private sale market. Some people call it pocket listings. I don't care. What it is I'm making my buyers more successful. I'm making my sellers not have to put things on the public market, regardless of what. Maybe it's because of divorce. Maybe it's because they don't want their neighbors to know. Maybe it's because they want their family to keep quiet about it and not ask them for money after. There's many reasons for this private sales market to exist. And what this does is it gives an opportunity for someone to come in, analyze the situation, and not have to make offers due Monday at 5. I hate Monday at 5. There's no worse situation.
Let me play a devil's advocate here. I mean, having these pocket listings or having these listings that's not available to the masses, do you think that somehow creates a disservice for the seller to not getting the highest and best, or no? I mean, it just depends.
Sometimes it does, but what we're looking for is we're still looking for that very strong top tier buyer. We're looking for someone who is going to close.
Got it.
We're looking for someone who can have an inspection by all means, but do it for their own informational purposes.
If you are a first-time buyer and you opt to buy in Fenway, let's say you spend $600,000. That $600,000 in 3 to 5 years could be one of the best investments you make, because we've got the Pierce that is under construction and has not yet closed. You have other projects in Fenway that are on the table, the Fenway Center, that John Rosenthal's project, the Samuels projects. So it's all about this spectacular growth. So again, you don't need to be that multi-million-dollar buyer to ride this wave. You don't need to spend the $2 million you need in Midtown.
So $500,000 might be able to do it. Mark, we're running out of time, but we brought you in to really talk about the suburb market as well. And we've got about a minute and a half. How are you seeing that market behave? That's so much different than Boston, or is it?
Inventory shortages that are occurring in Boston are really even more dramatic in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Monday morning, in MLS, 0 single-family homes on the market in the town of Arlington.
Right.
Absolutely incredible. This morning, there's one. It's just a hair under $2 million.
Oh.
That is not what people expect. Arlington has had a solid reputation. So inventory shortages are happening all over the place. We're seeing a growth in interest in condos because of what's happening in Boston spread to some of the suburbs. Brookline, for example, there's a great deal of interest in taking large Victorian houses in Coolidge Corner, Brookline Village, and converting them, developers coming in and converting them into 2 condos.
Interesting.
Because condo living is also bringing in a price point that maybe the single-family market in Brookline is no longer attainable for some folks.
But let's define suburbs. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Weston, Wellesley, and further out Hopkinton, or are we talking about the neighborhoods that touch Boston?
The ring around.
And so we're seeing that halo effect, for a lack of a better word, that restrictive of inventory is suffocating those towns as well.
No question. But I think you're also going to see people migrate. The average price per square foot for a condo in Brookline in 2016 was $619.
Wow.
Compared to Deb's numbers, you can see that there are going to be buyers who broaden their search.
Now, Rick, the nice part about your area is you work in a lot of great towns, a lot of great family towns, good school systems, and I know you're starting to see the barrier to entry for starter homes in some of those towns to start to head north.
Yes.
Where would you say if someone wanted to be north of the city in one of those towns, where can people look to either find a little bit of inventory and maybe try to get a great deal on a property?
Well, I don't know that
I wouldn't say. Sorry. I wouldn't say deal. I'd say value.
Yes, I think towns a little further north, the closer the suburb is to Boston, as your previous guest mentioned, Boston is so hot that many of our clients work in the city. So they may want to be in the suburbs for schools and for the backyards and things like this for their children. So the further away you go from the city, you'll find more house for your money. So if it's a Wilmington or a Tewksbury, it adds maybe 20 minutes to the commute. So therefore, I think they're getting a little bit more bang for the buck.
Are they commuter accessible, these towns that you're naming off?
Yes. Well, I think many buyers have lowered their expectation in that we want a house, I'll drive an hour. Whereas I only want to drive a half hour. They've upped the time in order to widen their range of
or perhaps
look.
drive to another commuter center that's less congested, and then that way they can come into the city. Perhaps.
Yes.
Interesting.
What are you seeing? I mean, you're a big listing powerhouse in that market. What are you seeing? Why are people sitting on the sidelines on the that may look to sell soon, but they just haven't pulled the trigger yet?
I think one of the reasons is I go into a lot of homes where people have exceeded their use, their children are grown and what have you. Their big fear is that, where will I go? Mm-hmm. So they're thinking, I realize I could sell this house 100 times this weekend. But if that happens, there's still no inventory for me to buy. So we need the lower price point and we need the higher price point. The mid price point wants to sell to either scale down or to move up. But until those markets open up, these people are afraid they have nowhere to go.
But